didn't make it on fourth down. T comes off, standing right by Billy Ratliff, and T's coming off and starting to unhook his pads a little bit, and Billy says, "Don't unhook your pads. We're going to get the ball back."
Second down and 11 for Arkansas. 1:47 remaining. One timeout left. Call it 12 to go for the first down. Sterner lost the football! Oh my goodness! He stumbled and fumbled, and Billy Ratliff recovered!
What's going on, Fan Pride .zone? This is our second locker room player interview that we've had, Billy, and I'm going to get right into it. I'm not going to have an intro, mention any sponsors or anything. I'm going to get right into it. We got Dwayne Goodrich, class of 99. Dwayne, there were some badasses in the class of 96. Tell us about them.
Man, Eric Westmoreland, John Ellis, Mickey Allen, T. Martin, Gerald Griffin, Derek Edmonds, Tyrone Graham, David Leverton. Well, we thought we were the class that was going. We thought we were the class that was going to change things in Tennessee. You know, I think everybody thinks this class was the best class, but we came in and one thing we did, we kind of stuck together. When we came in, we created a bond. And I'm sure every class feels the same way. Class of 95 and 94, they all say they're the best. But we feel like we are truly the best class ever. But no, really, we just went out there and just tried to get in where we fit in. And I remember T was my roommate. So, I mean, we were sitting in the room, and people don't realize how much T actually helped me out understanding the game. Because I played the game just as a straight athlete in high school and wasn't very cognizant of down and distance, third short yardage, all that stuff. It was just don't let him catch the ball. You know what I mean? And T was, when I watched T study, that's how I actually learned the offense. So I learned the offense at the same time I learned the defense. That's why Billy and them used to look and be like, man, how is this dude jumping all around? I don't know if you remember this, Warren, but they used to put up the offensive play on a whiteboard and rotate it around for the camera. They used to rotate the whiteboard around for the camera. I knew the plays, and people never knew that. So people never knew that. So I knew when they were running a hitch, a curl, and stuff like. So when I would get over there, I would look at the plays. I mean, I feel like you got to use any advantage you can to get on the field, and I use every advantage I can to the point that I would find that whiteboard doing 7-on-7 team drills, and I would pay attention to what the plays are, and I kind of knew. I mean, I kind of got an edge like that. So I think I finally told Vicky that junior year.
I've got to jump in here, Dwayne. Now, 95 had a squad. The reason why I'm jumping in, because I think Billy might have something to say about it, but you say 96 was the best class on the Hill. Better than 95.
If I had to, being honest, if I had to give it to a class, it would probably be 94 or 97. If I had to give it to two classes, I'm better than the class of 96 and 95.
Oh, wow.
If I had to just, with Peyton, T-Fair, Marcus Nash, they had a class. They had a squad. I mean, class of 94 and 95 was part of the reason why I committed to Tennessee, because I knew the team was going to be good with Leonard Little, Peyton, Jay Graham. Like, I knew I was going into a good situation. So I can't lie. Class of 96 was special, though.
Oh,
what do you think, Worm? Hold on. What do you think, Worm?
Go ahead, Worm. Go ahead and say it.
Man, I almost threw my headsets. All right, so
what?
I mean, I'm gonna tell you like this here. Yes, 96 was a great class. 94 was a great class, and of course, everybody always skip that 95 for some reason. They go from 4 to 6 to 7 to 8, and never do I hear about this 95. And I'm wondering if it's because 95 was really the live class, and I know it was, because '94, I called them the foundation where Peyton them came in, and they came in with what I call the bun, the first piece of the bread, where you open the bread up and that's that first slice. Now, '96, they was loaded. You guys had a bunch of guys that completed, but everybody keep forgetting the piece of meat that made everything happen. You know what I'm saying? We were that porterhouse, '95. We had Chad Clifton. We had Pillis Price, Al Wilson, Sean Bryson. Oh, do I need to keep going? Spencer Riley.
Yeah.
Ooh. And I think they end up trying to, they wanted Leonard Little to be part of our class because they went to JUCO. I'm like, they're going to, all right, we'll take them then. Why not? And that's why I said '95 was one of I think it's what created the platform, what made Tennessee create class of '96. Because with '95, if they wouldn't have some of these kids that played that year, 1995, of the '95 to '96, some of these guys from '96 would have never came to Tennessee. But when they saw what these guys had and where they came from, it was no doubt. It was hard for any kid that visit the University of Tennessee to say no to anybody. And D Good will tell you this to this day. The coaches didn't recruit us. We recruited the players to come play with us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So I have to say this here. Class of '95 was the reason why '96 came to Tennessee.
Yeah.
You guys was loaded, man.
The class of I will say this: the class of '95 had what I consider the leadership in the class of '95. And I'll tell you this, Bob, the leadership out of that class of '95 was so special that I truly believe that is the reason why we won a national championship. With the leadership, with that Al Wilson and Peerless. Peerless wasn't a vocal leader. Peerless just went out there and got the job done. Play after play after play after play and worked his butt off. But the leadership, it was the class of '95. They didn't care about statistics. It was all about the team. It was all about the team success, and it carried over. It carried over in the way they went out there and went to work every day. I will say that about the class of '95, but we were still better than y'all. I will say that. Y'all's leadership, though. Y'all's leadership was second to none. Like, I was for real.
Speaking of leadership, Fred White said on the show, and this is a good segue to this, telling these locker room stories about Al Wilson and the Memphis halftime, and then the national, not the national championship, the SEC championship against Auburn and Al Wilson. But one of the things that really cracked me up about what Deuce said about Dwayne Goodrich, said they were covering, didn't remember who he was playing, and the receiver caught a 5-yard curl, and he said Al was hot, and said he came over there to Fred and Dwayne and said, if he catches another MF and pass, I'm going to kick your ass. And Fred said, chill out, dude. He just catching a 5-yard pass. He said, if he catches another MF and pass, I'm going to kick your ass. Do you remember that? And I'll just let you tell the rest of it.
Man, Bobby, that happened to me so many times between Tyrone Hines, Al, and Leonard that it got to the point that I used to go out there. It made me terrified to give up a 5-yard slant or a 5-yard hit. So people always wonder, like, man, why were you so aggressive? I didn't want to hear their mouth. They talk so much shit. Like, it was the game that you're talking about. We were playing Houston, and the receiver's name was a dude named Jerry and James. When Big Worm said I talked a lot, I met my match against Jerry and James from Houston. He talked more than me. Like, we were beating them. We were beating the hell out of them. To the point where I'm like, bro, you caught an 8-yard hit, and he get up, he high stepping around, and I was like, he catching another motherfucking pass. I'm like, bro, like, and in my head, we had just gave up a 12-yard run. Like, we got gas for a 12-yard run. But of course, I couldn't say that to Al. So I'm like, all right, bro, like, that's cool, I got you, and stuff like that. But I cussed him out every game. I cussed Al out every game because it was always that. and y'all giving up too many yards back. Bro, they just ran for 100 yards right there. Like, but you don't say nothing to Al, T. Hines, and let it, you just suck it up. The first time it happened to me was my freshman year. I think Georgia game. It was Georgia. Yeah, it was Georgia game. So Hines Ward, and I'm talking about we were up 28-14. I remember, and I came in the game. Somebody got hurt. I came in the game, and I'm just a wide-eyed freshman. Probably shouldn't have been out there. You know what I'm saying? And Tyrone Hines like, if you can't get your ass in gear, you don't need to be on this field. So we didn't have to worry about coaches telling us anything. It was truly the players. Like, you were terrified to let your teammates down. For real, it wasn't so much the coaches. It was the teammates. Like, we wanted to go out there because, like I said earlier, like, I know how hard and how much work they put in. So I'm not going to be the reason why this team don't succeed. So that, yeah, but I got cussed out a couple times out there on the field. More than I like to admit.
Hey, it's funny that you say all those things, D. Good, man. I remember it just like yesterday, man. I mean, I kind of have my kids like that, to the point where I don't even have to say nothing to them at all. They understand what's wrong. They're ready to punish themselves before I do anything to them at all. And I remember that exact same thing, man. That's what made us so good, man. I mean, I didn't want to give up. For instance, DBs, D. Good and them, they didn't have tackles. They didn't have 100 tackles. They didn't have 50, 60 tackles. Our linebackers didn't have 100 tackles. When you had somebody like Al and, T. Hines and these guys that's LBs and they're getting in your ass the way they did, you will be in that backfield with 20 tackles for losses every game. Make sure they don't make any plays. And it wasn't a bad thing. It's just what I wanted to do. I didn't want my linebackers making plays. I didn't want my DBs making plays. I wanted to make every tackle out there because guess what? If my job is doing like this, they don't have to do nothing but just cover and run routes and come back to it. Now, when D. Good said, with Al cursing him out for that little curl route or anything like that, well, it was the same thing for me. Al didn't care who it was, whether it was a coach or a teammate, he gave it to you the same way. And I wasn't about to get on that bad side with none of them guys. When I came to Tennessee, people keep saying I was a big guy when I came to Tennessee. Yeah, but I wasn't like that when I came on my recruiting trip. When I saw these big ass linebackers like T. Hines and guys, I'm going to see Jesse Sanders with 50-inch biceps and stuff, and I'm going to the weight room and they bench pressing 200-pound dumbbells. I knew I was in trouble.
Yeah.
I knew I was in trouble.
Yeah.
So, of course, I went my ass back home to smack I'm trying to eat everything and pick up every weight and try to get swole, too. So, it was just a crazy time back in those days, man. Oh, man, I'm going to tell you. And so, let me calm down a little bit because, I'm getting a little bit heated because I wanted to ask you a question before I get too into this here, man. So, what do you think about the players getting paid, man? You think they should pay the players, man?
I do. I think when you have college football is big business, man. It's big business. So when you got Jimbo Fisher making $75 million, you got coaches making $8-9 million a year. It's big business. It's a business, and I think, don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for a free education and all that. But I think definitely something needs to be in place for these young men to go out there and get some money. When you're talking about everybody else is eating off of the back, they go at the back of the work that these young men are going out there putting in. Don't get me wrong, coaches coach and do all that, but I don't understand how a coach can make $8-9 million and you say, well, this kid is going to school for free and that should be enough. Because you're not going to school for free. It's a full-time job. And that's what I realized, like, going through that whole grind. That's a job. Like, that's a real job, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's a full-time 365-day-a-year job. On top of school.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think the kids need to be paid at some point.
And
I think you got to figure out a way to get them. I think you got to figure out a way to get them paid because I don't think they need to be paid like NFL. But it shouldn't be kids walking around and not be able to go get clothes, go get certain things that they need to go out there and feel adequate with other kids on campus. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know how it is when you drive by Fraternity Row and you seeing Range Rovers and all sorts of stuff out there. You know what I mean? And you know that the stadium is selling. Let's take a look at Zion. Duke made $20-something million off of that North Carolina Duke game. Nobody was there to watch a science project. They were there to see Zion, and Zion didn't get any of that money. And that's just one game. The tickets for that game were $2,000. I don't know if you knew that. The North Carolina Duke last year when President Obama was there.
Wow.
$2,000. And these kids aren't getting anything. Like, I think it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're getting something. They're getting something. They found a way to feed them nonstop, so they won't go hungry. They're doing little things, but ultimately that's big business, man. Them kids need to be paid.
All right. I'm right there with you, man. I mean, there should be something in place, and and I go a little bit deeper to it than that, man. I mean, my situation, with all the injuries I went through, I don't get me wrong. I mean, I go back and do it the exact same way. I'm gonna rehab until I get back on the field because I'm trying to get back out there as soon as possible. But the injuries that I went through, the pain and stuff that I go through to this day, I wish it was some way, like let's say if I didn't have, any insurance or anything like that, wish it was some way where they had something implemented where, they still take care of those things or have something that I can pay a fee to have those things taken care of in the future because as much money as they make, I mean, they're making just as much as the NFL is making now. If not more, it's amazing how that money, and like you said, I don't want them to give these kids $20,000 a week or a month or anything like that. I'm talking about necessities. I'm talking about things to just enjoy themselves. And I'm not saying that, because I think Reggie brought up something with it where, how do they, decide on who makes them or who gets a certain amount or whatever. I mean, because let's say, D Good, you're seeing, you one of the top players on the team, do you deserve to have $2,000 and let's say Bobby Graham only gets $250? It should be, if you're gonna do it, don't just say one player gets this amount. You got to say this here sport gets this amount and that's flat. And then the next sport, of course, everybody gonna want to say, well, how do we pay these guys? Well, it's the same platform. They have to get paid based on what their revenue is too as well. I'm not saying that the rowing team going to get $2,000 too, or they don't deserve $2,000, but I say they deserve to get something, a piece of the pie, which is more than they're getting now. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's say the football team getting $1,000 a month. Well, let's say track they getting $250 a month. Well, there's a reason why they're getting $1,000 and they're getting $250 because of the revenue. And I just here. I'm not saying that there's any. I mean, I'm not saying that it's right, and I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying that yes, there's a way for everybody to get something, and I'm quite sure there's a way for everybody to make the exact same amount of money if they just want to do it. They can do it, but right now they're never going to do it because they're making too much money doing it. And the reason, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you another reason why I know they'll never pay college athletes. When they got rid of making the EA Sports NCAA football game, that's when I knew right there. I'm like, really? Y'all made them stop making this game because they would have to pay the athletes or the players because of that game. Are you serious?
Right.
I'm like, wow. All the money that you guys was making on that there, you couldn't share the pie. Whether every game you sold, a certain amount go back to the players, the teams, or whatever. It should have been something, but they find a way not to.
But that's a whole the NCAA. That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. They man. That's what they do. I mean, that's what they do. They try to. I mean, it's. You want amateur sports. You want to treat athletes as amateurs, but coaches make millions. That don't make sense to me. But it's the way the system is.
It's a good thing old Deuce wasn't on here when he heard Dwayne Goodrich said he gets fed anything he wants all the time, because he told a story about on a Sunday during the summer him and Terry Fair had to scratch up pocket change and didn't even have $1 bill for a $4 pizza on a Sunday.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, you got plenty stories like that. I mean, I remember going back to the dorm after games, and you get what do we get, $15?
Yeah, it was something like that. Like,
Come on, man, that $15 is gone Saturday night after the game. You spend it for yourself on Sundays, trying to figure out what you're gonna get to eat. The cafeteria was closed. I mean, it was some tough times, but we made do the best we could. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we were well taken care of at Tennessee. I ain't gonna lie about that.
Most definitely.
But it's definitely something that needs. But like you said, to touch on that real quick, I think it could be something as simple as you pay freshmen this, sophomores this, juniors this, seniors that, and keep it simple. I mean, it doesn't have to be nothing that's going to break the bank or make a kid feel like he's already made it already. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be enough to where that kid can go out there and get some Jordans, go out there and get some clothes, be able to take care of himself. Because you're taking kids from inner cities, crazy backgrounds. Not everybody is going to excel in a college platform and don't know. So that's why you got kids take your money doing stuff like that, because they realize, like, I should be able to sell my jersey. If I get a game jersey after a bowl game and I choose to sell my jersey because I don't have money and somebody's going to pay me $2,000 for my signed jersey, I should be able to sell that and not have to worry about getting suspended.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I'm most definitely with you on that, man.
Mm-hmm. So, I think it's little things like that, but, the system needs to change some. I think it's getting better. But it's getting better. But, they're going to exploit it as much as possible and as long as possible to keep the maximum revenue to the NCAA. You know how it is.
Well, it's definitely it's a business now. Back when General Nealon was coaching, it was truly student athletes. They had tryouts, and it's nothing like it is now. These coaches are getting paid. What is it? Dabo's getting $9.3 million a year. That's just unbelievable. But I'd like to turn the show, and you don't have to answer anything you don't want to, but a lot of people feel the same way about you, Dwayne, and I know you're doing a lot of good. You were highly drafted. I think you was second round of the Dallas Cowboys. Kind of tell everybody what you tell people in your motivational speeches about your life. It's pretty well documented at the Cowboys and where you are now. I want to give you a platform to touch some people.
Okay, I'm big on like what I talk about a lot is choices have consequences. And I think it's every day. I think it's, you talk about, and I talk about a little bit, I tap on mental health. Because I think we don't, like, everybody has a choice to get up. Like, today is a new day. Like, you can't worry about tomorrow. But when you make that choice, when you make a choice that can alter your life, alter someone else's, you have to live with those consequences of that. And you got to figure out a way to, if you make the wrong choice, you got to figure out a way to pick yourself back up and just keep going and keep pushing forward every day. So I kind of touch on a lot of that. Just, I'd like to really get to those kids, man, and just really tell them, like, you can have it all one day, you can lose it, but don't feel like that you can't get back to where you need to be. Just, you got to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and get back up there and figure it out. So it's a lot of just sharing myself, sharing who I am, where I come from, the inner city Chicago, the University of Tennessee, to the Dallas Cowboys, to prison, to college graduate, to a proud dad. So I go through that. I take them through that whole journey and kind of just share my life with people. And then when, once they hear it, they're like, wow. They were like, I don't understand. Some people tell me I would have gave up a long time ago, but it's just not the way. It's not the way that I was built. It's not the way. Like, I went to a really good high school. I went to a really good college. I went to a really good pro team. I've been in good situations, and I've always been surrounded around really good people who I can call family. Like, I can call Worm, I can call Deuce, I can call Dion, I can call Al, I can call Peyton, I can talk to any one of my former teammates, and it's truly a family. And I can talk to Darren Woodson, George T. I can go down the whole list, and this football thing to me is provided a family and a true brotherhood, and that really means something to me. It means something to me if I see Worm, and it's, man, like we never missed a beat, and it's all love. I mean, and that's special, and that's what I got from this game, and that's what I got my life, and that's what I try to share with people.
I've always wondered this, and when you were in prison, what kept you going, and making it to the end? Did you have any dreams while you were in there, and just what kept you motivated and not going crazy and really turning that bad situation into a good situation and where you are now?
I mean, obviously my kids. I mean, my kids were young, and just seeing that day when I would get free, and just to be able to hug them and let them know that Dad was back, that gave me the motivation every day to go to do the right thing, and continue to be a positive role model. And then to add on to some stuff, when I was actually in prison, there were young men in there that never had a man at all tell them they loved them. Mm-hmm. So when I got in there, people were like, that's the Dallas Cowboy player. He rich, he this and that. I got up every day, went to work as a janitor. You know what I'm saying? Like I did. I got up every day, went to work as a janitor. So if they could see me doing this every day, and I'm yes sir, no sir, that's just the way that I was raised, and I'm not going to change that because of my situation. So I've always had a positive impact on people, and I just wanted to show young black men that you can get out of a bad situation and do something with your life. So by doing that meant that I had to get up and go to work when there were guards and there were officers coming in there. I'm not going to disrespect them, and they, oh man, you a millionaire. Of course, I didn't have no money. You know what I'm saying? But in their mind, they thinking that you made a couple million. They think every NFL player is rich. But they see me doing this every day, so that positive influence rubbed off on a lot of people, and still to this day, just like I said, I had a brotherhood from football. I have a good group of guys that we still check on each other a couple times a week just to hold each other accountable. So that leadership in those roles that I learned from playing football helped me get through what I went through.
Like when I hear your story, man, like, remember when I used to, talk to your mom, and, she used to give us your address and everything, man, and I mean, it was so hard for me to even think about it, because I never even know what to say or whatever. I mean, and of course, I mean, I understand, and I've been to the prison facility just because of what my mom used to work and do all those things, and I know that, there's nothing in there, but, everybody think it's just bad, but, there's so many things in there that you can create and change for yourself and everybody else, and and everything that I've heard that that you said when I listen to programs, or you telling your story, and now hearing your story, man, is almost it's touching to me, man. I mean, I'm trying my best to keep these onions away from my head, and it's just seeing your passion coming back and at least finish school, come out and become a better man, and and do things for yourself. And you said the thing that I always talk about is my kids. I do everything for my kids, because that's the future. You want them to be better in society than what we were, or be a stronger person, understand the world, and everything that you've said, man. It's just it has lit my fire again, though, man. I mean, I'm doing things right now that I've never thought I would ever do, man. I'm talking on this show, speaking my life lessons or what I know about this game, and getting people like you on the show that just it's I love it, and I'm hearing your story, man. It makes me think of, like, what the heck am I doing, man? I got to go out here and get myself together too.
Oh yeah, no, you doing good, Doc. You doing good, man. Let's keep the show going. Like, I got people always talk about I'm just working with the hand I was dealt. I'm just working with the hand I was dealt. But nobody ever said that you couldn't shuffle the deck. You know what I'm saying? and I think that's what life is. Like, in life, you got to figure it out. You got to shuffle the deck. And you sit there and, I mean, I could have sat there and be like, woe was me. But you know how it was. We wasn't raised that way. We wasn't raised that way to sit there and point fingers, make excuses, do all that kind of stuff. I own up to what I did. I own up to what I went through, and figure out a way to be the best dad for my kids and make sure they got the resources to tackle life when I'm not here, when Dad's not around. So that's my goal every day. So that's what I get up and try to focus on every day is how can I leave a legacy and make sure the kids are straight, make sure that my son and daughter are okay. And for that matter, other young men and women I touch along that path, just make sure that they're straight.
Well, we're friends on Facebook, Dwayne, and I see you post every now and then. One of your youngins running some track, and you were throwing some shade, said wasn't as fast as you. Tell us about your kids and what they're up to in sports.
My daughter, she's a senior cheer captain. Just straight A student. I mean, she's the easy kid. Then I got the 13-year-old little boy. He's about 5'9", 160, and he's faster than me. I can't lie. I never tell him that. He's faster than me at that age.
You can't tell him that. You can't tell him that.
I'm not gonna tell him that. But he's a special kid, man. He's 5'9", 160 at 13, running a 4.5 So it's. I mean, I'm trying to shield him away from like being Dwayne Goodrich's son, and you have to live up to expectations. But of course, he's gravitated towards football. He loves the game. We went down to A&M, and like we talking about the family brotherhood. When we came up to Tennessee, we stayed with Tia and the family for spring break. When we went down to Texas A&M for track meet, we stayed with Jay. We went over there with Jay Graham and hung out with him at A&M. So it's that brotherhood is always there. So no matter what city I go to, if there's a ball there, I'm reaching out to him. We're going to dinner. We're going to have a drink. We're going to do something to where we just see each other and lay eyes on each other. So I mean, this family brotherhood has been special, man. But it's been special.
I guess I got a question for both of you, and maybe y'all could both answer this. Y'all are legends at Tennessee. What are your kids? How do they find out about it? Do they just find out through you, or you specifically, Dwayne? What does your kids think about your days playing at Tennessee? They pretty impressed?
No, they could care less. No, they can care less. Like I'm dad to them. Awesome. I was somewhere eating with my son, and I got to have my little nephews with me. And somebody asked for my autograph, and my son was like, "Damn, why does anybody want your autograph? You haven't played in 20 years." So they could care less about that at all. My son is he completely. And of course, I know he's proud about it, But it's just the same way I told y'all, like I can't tell him he's faster. Like he doesn't say anything. And my daughter, she doesn't say anything. She was like, "Dad, you're not special. You're not cool." Like they think I'm just the uncoolest person in the world. Yeah, I get that every day.
Wow.
So I'm just dad. I'm just dad that they don't see it, and I like that.
What do you think he's gonna maybe put on the big R's, or you gonna let him do like Archie Manning did and let them make their own decision?
I'm gonna let him make his own decision. Of course, I'm a.
Now if he's fast now.
But they're gonna have to recruit him just like they're gonna have to recruit any other kid. And of course, they got an inside track. But no, I mean, he went up there. He loves the school. We're gonna come up to the Georgia game, I think, this year, and catch a game. So this will be his first time actually catching a game, and my daughter. So she's actually thinking about going to UT too. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed with that. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Of course, that's every dad. Like it would be nice to see him run through that T one day, but I would never put that kind of pressure on him. Just feel like that's something that you have to do.
Yeah, I think that you need to let these kids make their own decisions, and I've always respected that about Archie. When he got a lot of grief and threats about Ole Miss, about Peyton not going to Ole Miss, and I see some of these parents, they really, really push them, and they're living through their kids, and they just push them away from not only their parents, but of life. And it sounds like you're really doing a great job in that area, and I'm proud of you, man. I'm telling you, I'm more proud of you than anybody that's ever put on that orange. I'm telling you, this has been a dream come true for me, and
Thank you.
That's all I could say.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it. And like I told Billy, anytime you guys need me, I'm here. I'm just a phone call away. So you know how it is.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Well, you got anything to say to your boy before we go, Billy?
Well, I'm pretty much done, man. I mean, he'll be up here. He'll be here this weekend, so we're going to catch up plenty this weekend. We'll go have some dinner, lunch, maybe a drink if we can, which, you know, I can't eat too much because I gotta lose about 15 more pounds within the month, man.
Oh, I need to lose like 50. Me and Fred are looking. Somebody told us when we were out one night. That he looked like a D tackle and I looked like a linebacker. So I got to go ahead and change this. Yeah, I got to go get this changed up. So I got to start doing something. Man. I need to lose about 40 pounds for real.
Hey, well, you know, I tell you this here, I've lost quite a bit, man. I got up to like 330, dude. I got down to about 254.
Yeah.
I'm about 265 right now, man. So I still got to drop some of it off,
I'm right there. I'm about 250.
Man, you know what? Come on, man. Ain't no way.
Man, but you know I hold it well. I just got this old gut right now.
Hey, we all.
Bobby, look, no lie. If you look at the way football is set up, most big dudes lose weight and most little dudes get big.
That's what you said, Billy.
For real. I mean, most little dudes get big.
And
most big dudes get little.
Well, hey, I'm trying to get all of it off me, man. I'm trying to get to about 240.
Wow.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. To touch on one more quick thing, my son is trying to race me right now.
Oh,
so he was
man.
like, "Dad, you need to get the shape." No, I'm not gonna ever race. I'll never ever give him the satisfaction that he might be able to beat.
Hey,
I'll never give him that satisfaction.
I'm gonna tell you how you do it, man. I'm gonna tell you what I've always did, even when I'm training kids or I have to race my kids or anything like that. All you got to do is get them in that first 5 and cut them off and say, "You ain't ready yet, boy," and walk off. Now you're gonna be about, and I tell you,
I probably couldn't even get him in the first 5.
So
I ain't gonna even lie.
Because with me, on that first 5, I'm already tired after 5 yards, so I'm already about to flatline. So I had to cut him off before he get me past that 5 yards. So they'll be like, "Yeah, boy, you ain't ready, man." No.
Guess what I do to him? I show him that 100-meter time from high school. Well, I still have the record. Go catch that. That show. Go catch that. You never gonna race. No, we're not gonna play that game. No, we're not gonna do that.
Hey, I don't want to go down.
No, I never lived that one down.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, that's what I said. That's what Deuce got to do too, because Deuce was a woo.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And Deuce still think he can move too.
Yes,
we all do.
Yes.
We all do. But no, I enjoyed it, man. For real, I definitely love to come back on the show anytime you guys have me.
Most definitely, man. We appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you for coming on. You good?
Yeah, this has been awesome. Sure. Me and Dwayne, we've got a common bond. We're both in the trucking business. I'm in Dallas. He's in Dallas, and most of y'all that's been watching us for a while know I have to turn this truck off to record a show because that microphone picks up everything. And Billy sent me a GIF. I'm going to show it to y'all. I don't know if anybody can see it, but he sent me a text with a fan and a cat passed out. That ain't even close, Billy. And Dwayne,
I was trying to find a catfish, man, but
Dwayne, you know what I'm going through. You're hearing the big D. It's hot, man.
Oh, it's hot here. Yeah.
Well, we're going to get on up here. Thanks, Dwayne, for coming on, and I look forward to getting to know you better. And if you're ever in town during the season, we need to hook up at the watch parties or before or after. I'd like to meet you sometime. But
absolutely. Yeah, I'll give you a heads up when I'm coming in town.
Sounds great. We're going to be there every Friday and Saturday, and Saturday we'll be at the Tap House on Peters Road. But we're going to get on out of here, the locker room. This has been great. Like I said before, it's a dream come true. So y'all know what's coming next. Thanks for tuning in. Go Vols.
Yep.
It's hotter than hell down here in this truck down here in the Big D. I promise you that.
Hey, man, you might need to get a couple ice bags and just put them on your leg while you're in the truck, man.